I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some.
No one was truly prepared for what happened that night in Mexico. The stadium lights slowly began to dim. The sound of the encore music still echoed faintly across the massive venue, while thousands of glowing army bombs created an endless ocean of purple. Fans continued screaming BTS's name at the top of their lungs, desperately trying to hold on to the final moments before the concert officially ended. At first, everything looked completely normal. The members stood side by side on stage, smiling warmly as they waved toward every corner of the stadium. Some joked around like they always did, trying to keep the atmosphere light. Fans laughed, cried, and recorded every second with trembling hands because they already knew this was a night they would never forget. But no one expected that only a few minutes later, the entire stadium would turn into a sea of tears. The moment Jimin's turn to speak arrived, the atmosphere slowly began to change. He held the microphone longer than usual. He didn't speak immediately. He didn't flash his usual bright smile either. Instead, Jimin simply stood there in silence, staring at the thousands of fans in front of him with an expression that was impossible to explain. That single look instantly made many people go quiet. Even before he said a word, fans could already feel that he was carrying something heavy in his heart. ARMY. That one word alone made the stadium explode with screams. But only seconds later, Jimin's voice began to tremble. He tried to smile, yet his eyes slowly turned red. Fan cameras captured every detail as Jimin took a deep breath, almost as if he was trying to hold himself together before continuing. And from that moment on, everything changed. Jimin began talking about BTS's journey over the past few years, about time moving too fast, about longing, about the fear of losing precious moments together with the people they love most. He said BTS may look strong on stage, but in reality, there were many nights when they felt scared too. The sentence instantly silenced the entire stadium. There were no screams, no singing, only Jimin's trembling voice filling the air, while tens of thousands of people stood frozen, holding back their own emotions. Some fans immediately covered their mouths as tears rolled down their faces. Others stopped recording completely because their hands were shaking too hard to continue. But the most heartbreaking part came moments later. Jimin turned toward the other members. He smiled softly before quietly saying, "As long as you're still with us, we'll keep coming back. We'll keep singing. We'll continue to be BTS." The stadium instantly erupted with cheers and cries at the same time. But then the cameras captured one small moment that completely shattered millions of hearts. Jungkook lowered his head. He tried to smile, but his eyes were already filled with tears. At first, many fans thought it was just the stage lighting reflecting in his eyes. But seconds later, Jungkook quickly wiped his face and turned away from the cameras as if he was trying to hide his emotions. And that was the moment everything felt painfully real. There was no dramatic background music, no script, no acting, just a group of people who had been through countless struggles together, standing on stage while trying to hold back emotions too overwhelming to hide. Jungkook's reaction immediately became one of the most talked about moments across social media. Many fans said it had been a long time since they had seen him show such raw and honest emotions in public. There was something about the way he looked at Jimin that night that made people realize the bond between BTS members goes far beyond simply being bandmates. They grew up together. They survived harsh trainee years together, endless schedules, immense pressure, public criticism, and eventually global success beyond imagination. Maybe that's why the emotions that night felt so heavy for millions of people watching. Because for a brief moment, BTS no longer looked like untouchable global superstars. They simply looked like 7 people terrified of losing precious moments with one another and with the fans who stayed beside them through everything. Within minutes, clips of Jimin's speech spread across social media worldwide. Millions replayed the exact moment his voice cracked and the moment Jungkook tried to hide his tears. Even people who weren't BTS fans admitted they felt emotional watching it. Many said BTS's greatest strength has never been just their music, but their emotional honesty, because emotions like that cannot be faked. And that night, everything felt painfully genuine. Some fans who attended the concert in person later said the emotional atmosphere could never truly be captured through videos alone. They claimed there was a different kind of energy in the air the moment Jimin started speaking. The cheers slowly turned into crying. People hugged each other tightly. Some fans simply stood frozen while tears streamed down their faces. "It felt like a moment we'll remember for the rest of our lives," one fan wrote after the concert ended. And maybe that was true. Because in an entertainment industry that moves so quickly, moments capable of leaving such a deep emotional impact are incredibly rare. That night in Mexico was not just another concert. It was the night BTS showed the world the most human side of themselves, and millions of people cried with them.